There's something about small towns that makes time slow down. Not in a way that's stuck, but in a way that remembers. That was the heart of this commercial for Ocean Springs. Capture the nostalgia. We had 2 primary shoot days and 6 locations. We also knew we'd have a few pickup days, but this was to get drone shots and a few extra scenes that we needed to sprinkle in, and one goal, to make people excited about coming to Ocean Springs. We made the decision to shoot on the Sony FX6 and the Sony FX3. Because it was the goal to make this feel kind of nostalgic and kind of old school, we decided to go anamorphic. And that's why we chose to shoot on the Atlas Mercury anamorphic lenses. We used 2 prime lenses, the 36 and the 72, and it gave us a squeeze factor of 1.5. So that on a DCI 16:9 sensor gave us an aspect ratio of 2.76 to 1. Which is Ultra Panavision 70, which is the same format as movies like Ben-Hur and The Hateful Eight. We knew we wanted to go 1.5 because it gave us those anamorphic characteristics a little bit more than a 1.3 would, but we knew we would probably have to lose some of the sides of the frame to make it formatted for television. You'll notice on some of our on-camera monitors, there's a piece of tape that says frame for 16:9. We wanted to make sure all the action took place in a 16:9 window. So if we had more than one person or one person performing an action, we knew that it would be safe in that format. We did the edit in 2.76 and we did all our color grading for that as well. We could always crop in, but we couldn't crop out. So we wanted to make sure we had all of that in case we used it. When we presented it to Cynthia, she loved it. It's a very unique format, and on television, it's going to stand out. There is something to be said about widescreen and its relationship to high-end feature films from Hollywood, and when you see that in a commercial format in a smaller town, it does feel more premium. And while that is a small factor, it played into the decision-making of shooting anamorphic. We started at Shearwater Pottery. It's an incredible location, and there's a workshop there that usually isn't open to the public. They designed this workshop with natural light in mind, and so a lot of the lighting was motivated by the daylight coming through the windows. There's a lot of skill that goes into lighting a space like this naturally and taking the existing natural light and making it look more beautiful. Jared, our gaffer, did a great job lighting the space. It was a space that was very complex and fragile. We were able to move in there, get the shots we needed, beautiful lighting, and then move on to the gift shop.
We're already behind, so
Yeah.
there you go. First shot. First scene, I guess. Already behind. But we're getting there. We'll make it.
The gift shop was really cool, right? Because this is where all the artwork we got to see being made eventually ends up for sale. But we wanted to focus on our hero piece of artwork, which was a pottery bowl. It goes from being created by the artist in the workshop to being picked up by a customer in the gift shop. And so that transition had to be pulled off just right. We had to do a match cut with our camera move on the gimbal.
Action! Smiling!
From there, we hit the visitor center, and this location was not the most cinematic on paper. Not only did the blocking for the actors have to be perfect, but the camera move had to be perfect. Unfortunately, time wasn't on our side, and we had to work quickly in this location. So we didn't have time to modify the light coming from the window outside, so we had to make some adjustments on the fly. Luckily, our gaffer, Jared, was excellent, was able to get us that balance of light we needed from the light levels inside, matching the light levels outside. Also, another big shout out to Noah, our first AC. He pulled focus on this shot. It was complex and it was difficult, and he nailed it.
White. Cool.
So once we wrapped at the visitor center, it was time to go to the Butcher Baker. Now this location is really cool. They just opened. By the time we were there, I think they were open for about 6 weeks. And the interior design was so well done, it just popped when it came on camera. This location had a ton of practicals that were already there. We tried to make use of most of them, but we had to create motivation. We had to introduce some additional lighting, and some of which we actually made into practicals. There's some sconces on the back wall. We actually used aperture B7s in. We hid some other tube lights in different places. Jared really had his work cut out for him on this one. We used a lot of lights on this. We had to really create atmosphere and create different pockets of light to really help sell this location. Day 2 was packed with just as many challenges as day 1, if not more. Our first location was a restaurant called Trilby's, and we were tasked to shoot a busy brunch scene in their main dining area.
All right, here we go. Having a good time. Just having a conversation. Okay, here we go. We're about ready to cheers. Let's cheers. Let's cheers, everybody. And act like you're a drink.
To pull this off, we needed about 20 extras. We had a lot of shots to get at this location, and we weren't exactly sure what shots would work best in the final edit. We just knew we had a lot of extras, we wanted to capture a lot of faces. We went in with a game plan, but a game plan that we could modify, and that was very helpful.
Remember those old school Olive Garden? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about. You guys are in it, so it's just
absolutely.
Like here, nothing really crazy. We'll just break down.
We wound up shooting more than we needed, but it was reassuring in the same time because we knew we had a lot to work with, and we could pick the best of the best, and that's what we did. So after we left Trilby's, we had 2 more locations, and these were kind of quick. They were actually right across the street from each other at downtown Ocean Springs, so they were both clothing stores, 2 different vibes. So our first clothing store was Mimi's. That had a very natural feel. This store had a lot of wood tones, a lot of natural light, a lot of brick. There was a lot of accessories like ties and jewelry, and we wanted to show that off. From there, we moved over to Gina's, and that place was very eclectic and a lot more space to work, so we were able to fill up that space with our foreground and background of clothing and then do our really cool trick shot of shooting in between the clothes rack.
I'm happy with that shot.
Everybody's got a wrap?
Yeah,
It looks natural.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a wrap.
That's a
Good
wrap.
job.
So with the first 2 days of production wrapped and in the can, we took a week to regroup and figure out what we needed for the rest of the commercial. We decided that some of the scenes that didn't have a large crew requirement could be done on that 3rd and 4th day. This included a lot of drone shots and favors for people with sailboats. Once we finished filming, we moved into post-production, and that's where everything started coming together. It took a couple days to get an assembly cut done and go through all the best takes, and then start the process of narrowing it down more and more. We knew this video needed a really impactful anthem. We went to Music Bed, and we found the perfect song. Once the song was in place, the edit flowed. Once we picture locked that 90-second version and we got a thumbs up, we sent it over to our colorist, Gino. He did a phenomenal job making it feel natural, but also making it pop and bringing it to life. So many people came together to make this project possible, and so many that I can't even list them all. So if I didn't mention you, I'm sorry, but thank you so much for all your help. Ocean Springs gave us a story worth telling, and we're so proud to have been able to do that. Thanks for checking out a look behind the scenes of this great commercial we did for Ocean Springs. We hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you on the next one.